but people are discovering who they are as the meanings of things evolve. They don't always stay the same, you know. He said, "Am I, Stephen A. Smith, becoming a Republican?" Oh, this is interesting. Bandwagon jumpers. You know, he wants to get in the graces of Trump and all the big guys. Elon Musk, give me a break, dude.
I get accused of being a pundit for the right. Prior to the election cycle, I voiced my concerns about Joe Biden and his ability to serve as second term as president. Then Biden stepped on the debate stage in late June and revealed what many suspected. He embarrassed himself. The White House and the Democrats eventually switched to Vice President Kamala Harris when he stepped away, who ultimately ran what some would say a valiant presidential campaign, at least in the eyes of some, that ultimately fell short with voters across the country. I pointed out my concerns with the campaign and the Democratic Party along the way, and many of you wanted to accuse me of being a voice for the right. So,
yep, he did, though.
So you know what? I feel like it's time.
He was heavy on Kamala.
I'm going to set the record straight because ain't nobody hiding. Ain't nobody running.
Right. Facts.
Okay? Let me be very, very clear.
Let's hear you.
I'm a registered independent because I don't trust either side.
Right. That's a very honest take.
I think both sides are full of it on so many levels and so many circumstances.
Facts.
It's nauseating. But I also want to take a moment because a lot of people out there on social media have been saying to me, "Here, Stephen A., you take these positions, you're frustrated with the Democratic Party, but then you voted for Kamala Harris against Trump." Why? It's very, very simple. I believe that Donald Trump has been a divisive figure. And I was thinking coming into this election.
He's torn apart a lot of stuff. It's taken a while. When you think about it, it's been a 10-year reign of like Trump energy.
That the last thing we needed was 4 more years of what we saw the last time, where there was so much strife and so much division.
Yeah, but the problem is that created all that division is because the media was fighting him back like crazy, and all he did is spend time fighting the media and not being the president.
That even though the economy clearly was doing well under his watch before COVID struck, it was just too much for the country to take. I was fearful of civil war in this country. It wasn't so much that he was supportive of white supremacists and he was this racist and all of this stuff like people were saying. I didn't engage in that incendiary rhetoric because I've always believed that Donald Trump was just somebody who did things that were politically expedient. If
I can see that
supporting one side was going to generate votes for him, he would flow with it. And if it was...
I don't think so. I don't think he ever did that. I think he started a really, really grassroots campaign. And this is an example of someone that started so deep. He was getting all the random, like, middle of America people, rallied them up using psychological tactics to plant that seed literally with farmers. And it just slowly trickled up into the mainstream.
Was not going to support his cause, he wasn't. It's just simple. It's just that simple. Why did I say that? And why did I refrain from that incendiary rhetoric that was thrown in his direction? It was because I knew Donald Trump before he ran for president. And black, white.
His whole mission has changed too. This has become a whole different arena. He learned a lot. I think he got beat pretty bad throughout the first 4 years and came back a lot stronger.
Male, females, and everybody in between got along with him great. So for all of a sudden, everybody to stand up and act like he was this pariah was BS. But I was also acknowledging he didn't help his own cause. From the moment in 2015 when he strolled down those escalators with Melania, the man offended 50% of the population back then in 2015.
I mean, he was definitely cocky.
In the eyes of many.
He was coming.
And it just seemed to go
coming straight from
here.
Hollywood. You know, he's coming straight from Hollywood, a businessman, successful, billionaire, then Hollywood. He feels like he can do anything. But look at him now.
So after he served his 4 years in the White House, I didn't want a repeat of all of that. But I didn't call him a racist. I didn't compare him to Nazis. I didn't sit up there and accuse him of befriending white supremacists and all of that stuff because I knew no matter what people believed, they were trying to politicize it. So when I thought about him against Kamala Harris, I said, excuse me, let me make sure Republicans are in the House and the Senate. You have somebody that's going to work with both sides in the White House, and we'll have peace domestically. That's what I was thinking. But under no circumstances was I this raving supporter of Kamala Harris. I saw her during the primaries in 2020. I saw that she couldn't get to Iowa. I saw her comments about transgenders, particularly those in prison that wanted sex changes. I saw how incoherent she
I would love to hear your take
in communicating what her objective would be when it came to the economy. I know for a fact that she was supposed to oversee the issues involving the border. Yes, like Roland Martin said, she wasn't the quote-unquote border czar, but she was perceived as such. I also saw her go on The View and categorically deny that there was any need.
Okay, I can't wait to see what he actually sums us up. I like that he's explaining it, but it's like he's putting so much excuses on the beginning to prep people. He's probably terrified right now, but I think that people have gotten to a point where they really don't care anymore. Trump has won the majority of people over. People are changing before Trump is even going to be in office.
Need to change anything that Biden had done, even though over 12 million people crossed the border illegally, and you were acting like there was no border crisis.
Facts.
I saw the duplicitous tendencies. I saw the inconsistencies. I also saw the hypocrisy. And as the election came about and ultimately unfolded, and I saw Donald Trump win convincingly. No, he did not get 50% of the popular vote, as the Democrats are so quick to point out. My attitude to them is shut the hell up. Nobody wants to hear that now. Who cares whether he got 50% of the vote or not? He beat you in the popular vote and the electoral college vote.
Smashed everyone.
He swept the swing states. He improved his numbers in every demographic imaginable. Blacks, Hispanics, women.
Like I said,
he beat you.
The Republicans
flagrantly
worked so hard the last 4 years.
Forward, I'm like, damn all of that. We're going to support the fact that he won the presidency. And I'm going to tell you
he's your president now.
He beat you. And the American people spoke, and they spoke flagrantly. And from that moment forward, I'm like, damn all of that. We're going to support the fact that he won the presidency. And I'm going to tell you where I'm at with it. And that doesn't mean I'm going to become some registered Republican, because I still find them a bit shaky.
Oh, yeah.
But when I see Attorney Bragg in New York trying to convince the judge and the courts to treat Donald Trump as if he's deceased, as if he has died, just to make sure that your convictions on those 34 felony accounts remains a part of the record, it just shows another level of patheticness, if that is such a word, that creeps in. Once again, you can't let it go.
No, it's very pathetic. But, Donald Trump, on the other hand, was complaining about the 2020 election. But I do believe they took it from him. I'll be honest with you. There's no way Biden won.
He is the president-elect of the United States of America. In January 20th, he is going to be the president of the United States.
He's excited, honestly.
And you want to sit up here and waste taxpayer dollars and literally go before the courts to do everything you can to make his conviction a matter of record, knowing he ain't going to get any jail time.
Nope.
You're not going to be able to incarcerate him. You're not going to be able to fine him. Sir, it's over. It's over. Democrats, it's over. It's over.
It is over. And the Democrats, you know what? I felt like this whole vibe, like There is no vibe. There's zero solidarity anymore. It almost exists it almost seems as that whole aura of that group of people, the far leftists, the leftists, it doesn't exist anymore. It almost seemed like it was a complete illusion. When you think about it, when you have a group of conservatives, they stick to a base and a routine and a formula. They conserve. Leftist liberals are very free. They're liberated. They're dancing around. So while these conservatives are hard at work doing their routine, they're obviously going to outshine the free hippie dancers. It's about hard work. That's all it is. And they created a great team, an incredible war strategy. That was their first war, is to win over the American people.
I'm going to say this before and I'll say it again. You know what I would do if I were Joe Biden, President Joe Biden?
Just get the fuck out of there.
Especially since I basically gave the Democratic Party the finger because you kept saying, we follow the rule of law, we follow the rule of law, we follow the rule of law. And then you went and you circumvented all of that to get to pardon your son Hunter. Since you were willing to do that, if I was President Joe Biden, I would pardon Donald Trump. I'm going to see it again.
Oh, daddy. That's a huge move. That would be a wild move, but he's not going to do it. They're part of their, leftist cult. It's so crazy how the tables turned, how the leftists actually got exposed for being, the crooked freaks.
I would pardon Donald Trump for one reason and one reason only. To move the hell on. Enough's enough.
True.
Enough's enough. You tried to get him if you Nancy Pelosi. You tried to get him if you Chuck Schumer. You tried to get him if you were the Dems in the Senate and the House. You tried to get him if you were the FBI. You tried to get him if you were the Department of Justice. You tried to get him. I mean, damn. Russian collusion. What happened? See, we keep talking and talking and talking. And all we see at the end of the day is that you inconvenience Donald Trump and you caused him headaches. Probably forced him to take a few doses of Motrin or Tylenol. That's all you did. You ain't doing anything else to him.
He's at this point, he shuts down everything. I mean, no one can really get through with him with all the bullshit. No one even tries anymore because you just can't get it out of him. He wastes no time talking about that.
He is back in the White House next month. All that shit y'all did, all the stuff you pulled, you had your surrogates out there, your pundits out there, you engaged in lawfare, you did everything. And you convinced the American people, yo, his ass belongs in jail. And where he going instead? Back to the White House. So, of course, when you see that preponderance of evidence that ultimately hits us, with the reality is that no matter how hard you try, whatever mechanisms you put in place, whatever, tactics you utilized, it all amounted to nothing.
They tried every tactic.
They caught him sleeping at an African conference in Angola. Donald Trump wide awake, going back to the White House. Peggy Noonan, an outstanding columnist for the Wall Street Journal, wrote about the unprecedents that exist.
Breaking news
with a president-elect who's usually chilling. They're normally only making news when there are headlines announcing their cabinet members. Yet, Donald Trump is walking around like he's president now.
He is. That's
in France
hey,
recently.
That's a way to do anything.
For the
really.
reopening, what?
He's been walking around the president for the last 10 years.
Is it the Notre Dame Cathedral?
He never stopped.
Talking to Zelensky for Ukraine. No doubt Putin for Russia. Talking to Benjamin Netanyahu with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Look at what is happening. Every time there is substantive stuff to talk about in the world of politics, Donald Trump's name is the headline instead of President Joe Biden.
Oh, absolutely.
Y'all lost. The Democrats, you lost. You got your ass kicked in every way imaginable. And why am I saying it like that? It's not because of the election. It's because of what's still happening. Every single other day, this man is making headlines.
He is headlines.
About political issues that are supposed to be dominated by President Biden and the White House. It's not happening. It's him. If that ain't definitive evidence that you have lost, and it is time to lick your wounds, look in the mirror, and revisit all of those tactics you tried to exercise, clearly in an effort to keep him out of the White House.
And the funny thing is about the right is that they had to play a fair game because any slip up would be mass exposed and they would like grab onto that thread and pull the whole thing undone. But it seems like it was very fluid. Other than Tony Hinchcliffe's comment about Puerto Rico, it seemed pretty fluid.
It's now. Maybe you shouldn't have adopted woke culture, embraced woke culture and woke ideology the way that you should. To the LGBTQ community, anybody with decency should support you and your right to live your life. But I didn't hear the right talking about the LGBT community in general and painting everybody with a broad brush. I heard them addressing transgender issues in terms of somebody electing to change their gender, participating, men transitioning into women, but competing with women. Now, we could get into the nuances and the particulars about it, and the Democrats could sit up there and say that the Republicans are misrepresenting.
The issue is, I'm not against like the whole non-binary vibe, but I think that this current system right now, the world would break out, America especially, well, the whole entire world too, would break out into mass chaos if everything merged like that. It's like we have to go a little slower. Everyone wants change now. That's the type of culture we have. But I don't care about non-binary. We're all human. But right now, to rebuild and keep a solid foundation, it's like we just need to stay in our lanes before shit just absolutely crumbles. Do you guys really want to be in the street fucking with machine guns while bombs are dropping? No, I don't think you do, you know? So choose your battles.
Representing their positions and vice versa, what have you. Here's the bottom line. They were successful in disseminating whatever they wanted their message to be to the masses better than you were. You lost. And you're still walking around here, evidenced by the latest from Attorney Bragg in New York State, evidenced by him trying to keep the conviction alive. What is that going to resolve? Donald Trump, felony convictions. It's a matter of record. Wow. I mean, you're really accomplishing great things there, huh?
He's pissed, dude. I've never seen him. He's actually been waiting to talk about this for a long time. I think it's all about timing.
He ain't going to prison. He's not even forced to keep on an ankle bracelet and be confined to his home, which is a resort, by the way, Mar-a-Lago in Florida. Oh no, he's going back to the White House. And he travels back to Mar-a-Lago at his discretion. whenever he damn well pleases. You lost.
That's awesome. He's going to the White House.
Let it go. When we want to talk about whether or not I want to be a Republican or whatever, listen, there are conservative issues that I adamantly support. I support lower taxes. I support free market capitalism. I support controlling our borders. Absolutely. And I'm a big dude on national security. I ain't apologizing for that to anybody. On those issues, I'm conservative. Right. What am I liberal on?
More about like national...
Live and let live. Social issues.
It's more about protecting our privacy than national security, you know? Like the creepy drones in the air, you know? National security, but what about privacy, you know?
Sexual, bisexual, gay, you know, lesbian, whatever. It's your life. And I'm certainly down for looking out for the desolate and disenfranchised. You're a minority community in this country, you need help, I'm down for it.
That's awesome.
You're poor and impoverished. We only us of misogynistic tendencies because we may not be supporting Kamala Harris. How come it couldn't be her policies? We supported Hillary Rodham Clinton. Sick of it. Sick of the Democrats walking around like they have such a higher moral compass.
Oh, God.
A higher moral.
You said it. And it's like a different thing that has like very thin morals to it.
Foundation than everybody else. No, enough of that demagoguery. Enough.
No, we're getting down to things being very transparent, logical, common sense. It's taken us this much to evolve and for us all to agree that we need it more logical and transparent and common sense. It's not all about this mystery. Thanks to the internet. Thanks to the last 20 years of the internet.
That fear mongering. No, your behinds need to go out there and learn to politic better to win. Make sure your issues are better. Make sure you're capable of doing a better job. Wes Moore, Governor of Maryland, you'd have my vote tomorrow, my brother. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I also like Byron Donald, representative out of Florida.
Never heard of him.
That's where I'm at.
Oh, Byron. Yeah, his son.
I'd love for Wes Moore to be the president of the United States in 2028. Donald. I'd love for Byron Donald to be the next governor of Florida.
Wow.
There
he can be young.
If that ain't...
They're about to take over.
I don't know what is. But I'm sick of all of this. I really am. Democrats, you lost. You got your butts whipped.
Bad.
Own it. Live with it. Accept it. Embrace it. And look in the damn mirror. And stop acting like the problem lies with others. It lies with you.
Whoa!
Your messengers were weak. Your message was weaker. And I know that because the American people said so in droves.
Wow.
Own it. And get off your moral high horse.
Oh, my God.